بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله اصطفى آدم ونوحا وآل إبراهيم وآل عمران على العالمين صدق الله العظيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to episode 3 of our Isa alayhi salatu wasalam series with myself, your host, Moulana Azhar. Okay, now if we look in the verses of Surah Al Imran from verse number 33 up until roughly verse number 39, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking about the family of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. Now before we move on to Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, it's important we understand his background and his heritage and his ancestry. So his mother was Maryam alayhi salam, okay, who we know as Mary in the English tradition, so Maryam alayhi salam. Her father was Imran, okay. Who was Imran now? This is the key question. Imran, in fact, before we speak about Imran, I think it's important I mention something. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran regarding the family and the progeny of Imran and the progeny of Ibrahim alayhi salam is that they have been chosen, they are the chosen ones. They have been given preference above others. Why? If we look in the lineage of the prophets, so even our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or the Prophet of Isa alayhi salam, we look in their lineage, we see that a lot of the prophets of Islam, their links are to Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam or Imran. Okay. Now Imran, he was, the majority of reports suggest that he was the Imam of Baytul Maqdis, so he was the Imam of Masjid al-Aqsa, and his wife's name was Hannah. Okay, so his wife's name was Hannah, and Hannah and Imran had a daughter by the name of Maryam alayhi salam. Now, Hannah herself was barren. She had reached the age where she could not bear children anymore, and she had made a promise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that if you give me a child, I will give this child in the service of Deen. I will give this child in the service of your religion and the service of Islam. Okay, now when time came for her to give birth, she gave birth to a girl, and it wasn't the norm in the culture and the tradition at the time that a girl could give service to the Deen, because usually the service of the Deen in that era was done in the masjid, and the majority of the work taking place was conducted by menfolk. However, Allah knew this. Obviously, Allah is the one who gave her a child. Even that Allah gave her while she was barren, and gave her a daughter. So she went ahead with her promise that she had made to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like a pact, you could call it a pact she had made, and she sent Maryam alayhi salam to the Baytul Maqdis when she was of obviously older age, and she went there and she used to stay there on her own, secluded. Now Zakaria, the Prophet Zakaria alayhi salam, he was her guardian. Now how does he relate to her? It's important to know this. So we got Maryam alayhi salam, her mother Hannah had a sister called Elisha, and Elisha in English we could call it as Elizabeth. Her husband was Zakaria alayhi salam, and he used to look after Maryam while she was secluded in the masjid, and he gives witness to the miracles that took place at that time. So what used to happen is when he used to come to just check up on Maryam alayhi salam, he'd see that sometimes there used to be food there. There used to be fruits there that were out of season. So she was eating fruits, and she had fruits with her which were not growing in that season. And out of surprise, he asked her, that, from where did you get these fruits? And she replied saying that Allah has given this to me, and Allah is the best of sustainers. And inshallah, with this we conclude episode 3. Like always, make sure you're following us on Instagram and on Facebook, and you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to share this video. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.